Hi, everyone. I'm Pip from Seymour Digital Media. You're listening to Know How Marketing Lab podcast. This podcast brings together different experts in marketing from our Facebook group, Cyberpunk Geeks Marketing Mixer. Each week we get on here and we talk about something search marketing like Google Ads or SEO, social media marketing from Facebook to TikTok, or website marketing. If you're a marketer or aspiring marketer, a business owner or entrepreneur, this podcast is for you. We're going to share the best SEO, search, social, and website strategies. We share tips and hacks, Google Ads strategies, what's going on in the current market. Each week we discuss something exciting and awesome in marketing. We are talking search, social, and website updates. Who wants to start?
Well, can we introduce ourselves first?
Oh, yeah. Who are you?
I will do that. Good morning, everyone. My name is Rena Little from Littleworks Indie Media, and we run a full-service agency over in Vancouver.
My name's Phelan. I work at Seymour Digital Media with Pip, where we focus on search engine marketing.
And I'm Pip, and I work with these two on lots of things. Seymour Digital Media, and every fourth week, we get on here and we do a roundup of the marketing news, what's going on in the industry. I'm sure we're all well aware that there were some funny memes today. Because of the Twitter fail with the political things. Rena, did you know that?
I have not signed into Twitter. I signed in really early at about 5 o'clock this morning, and I have not signed in since. So I missed the memes. I can't believe it.
Oh yeah, you're gonna love it.
They were mostly last night with the Twitter Spaces, which was
okay.
I saw it on TikTok. Okay. So it's about how Twitter failed basically yesterday because they are lacking team members when they had a big launch. But so anybody who's interested in that stuff, I know Glenna's really interested and she might have a good laugh. But yeah, other than that, like there's so much going on.
Totally.
Rena, start us off. You're always good with the fun stuff.
The fun stuff. I'm not sure that I have much fun, but I do have some good news. So even though there have been a lot of changes to the whole advertising space in terms of Facebook, I mean, I don't know so much about Google, but in terms of Facebook, in terms of privacy restrictions and all of those things that have been happening over the last while, it's still a good place to be advertising. Apparently, global spend on mobile apps is more than $500 billion last year, with 2/3 of that coming from advertising and a third coming from in-app purchases. So it seems like there's still a good opportunity. People are still purchasing in mobile, and that's great for us in marketing. And then a couple of changes to some of the meta ads include being able to automatically organize a discount code for your new lead generation campaigns. So basically that's super cool because you can just send that voucher out in your lead generation. They can go directly to your e-commerce site and make a purchase, or whatever website you have, even if it's not. Well, I guess when I think of e-commerce, I think of big stores, but it doesn't have to be big stores is what I'm getting at. And then they also have, that was in the checkout process. Yeah, so it automatically happens. And
that's cool.
That's currently being rolled out at the moment. And then a new thing is Eventbrite ads. So that's a nice place for people who are working in tickets and all that sort of stuff. Now you don't have to do Facebook ads to get to your Eventbrite. You can actually send out ads straight from Eventbrite in Eventbrite. So it looks like they're becoming more social in nature.
I wouldn't mind trying it. I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, I was thinking so. I do like Eventbrite. I like the fact that I can follow certain organizers and then have their events emailed to me directly. And I think that these ads might be pretty interesting too. I haven't tried them. They haven't rolled out for me yet, but on my next available opportunity, I will be trying them and letting you know what those are about.
Yeah, you're going to have to keep us up to date because I don't have any good reason to have them. And I don't, we do, we do events. Workshops. Oh, well, we are doing workshops in the future, actually. And then, it's going to be exciting. But
Yes.
yes, I just haven't really used Eventbrite much, so maybe that's my apprehension. But I always thought that, what's the other one? Meetup or whatever it was. They needed to
Yeah.
update their stuff. They could have had something really good like Eventbrite.
I like Meetup, but they kind of function quite differently. And like Meetup really is a place to find things to do. It's not a
Mhm.
ticketing service. So Eventbrite is really strictly a ticketing service.
You could use them together, could you not? Or would you use them
Well, it would be
together?
good. It would actually be really great because Meetup collects the audience members, so people sign up for your Meetup, and then you have
Yeah.
like this
Yeah.
giant audience member group. Eventbrite doesn't really do that. You can email your attendees, but you don't collect. I think you can have people follow you, but it doesn't become a follow in the same sense that Meetup does. And I think you're right. I think that if those two apps were to combine and have a
They're-
baby,
Right?
that would be the ultimate. Or if they just actually combine somehow, and
And then
yeah,
what is that? You know how during COVID we had software that made a square, like you could go to an event, like a with tables and speakers and online. I think there'll be some big
yeah,
movement in the maybe because of what happened with events that they had the hardest time, during COVID. I think some really interesting software came out of it. And if they combine all
yeah.
these things, it's going to be really interesting. I know that's not on real topic today, but if we're looking at the future and we are marketers, so we're always looking at things like this, right? I think that space is really interesting. Actually, I'm going to pay more attention, right? Yeah, you guys are like, yeah.
Totally. I would
Yeah.
like to know in the audience, if you wanted to chime in the comments, how you feel about online conferences. Would you still like to continue to go to them? Do you just really prefer the in person? I'm of two minds on the whole subject, so I want to hear what everyone else has to say. All right, that's good. Now let's get back to the news.
What? Yes, Phelan just almost died because I moved I moved something on screen. He was like, "Oh God!" But yes, in the news, we have a lot going on in Google. So Google did their I/O last week. I think less than a week
Well,
ago.
I think it just ended, right? The last bit of it, the Google I/O was last week, and then Google Marketing was this week, and it
Hmm.
just wrapped up.
Yeah,
And so
lots
there's a
to
lot.
see, right?
Yeah.
And
So
in
there's
Google Ads, they put it in there so you can watch the video right in there. I think that's interesting.
Well, yeah, they definitely. Well, they're trying to get you all hyped up for the new stuff, as well as find out what they're adding, and more importantly, what they're taking away. That's what they're always trying to do. It's just like, hey, that ad type you really like. Yeah, that's going away.
Yeah. There's so much change. I mean, you know what? We are changing how we do things, and with that, we're changing pricing because of all the changes that we have to keep up with. It's I mean, it's like a yearly and also like yearly big chunks of change. And then that sounds really funny actually. And then, throughout the year, these little changes that keep us, we really have to, I think our minds will never dull because we have to stay so up to date, right? I'm hoping. But so there's some new things in like Google Analytics 4 is a really big deal right now. And the next 2
Yeah.
months we're moving over there. So I think the big ones that are like top of mind are the AI stuff and the what was I just saying?
The
Google
GA4,
Analytics
the
4.
complete
Yeah.
yeah, the big breaking change that's going to happen July 1st, where your universal analytics is going away. So you definitely want to get started, especially Shopify store owners. You definitely want to connect the new GA4 connection because it's going to be a big breaking change. And so you definitely want to get as much data in now.
Well, and the other thing is, Rena, are you getting those emails, the panicked emails from clients?
So what ended up happening was the wording was confusing. So they said import your data from Universal to G4 before it's too late. And it's like, Well, my understanding was that you couldn't really do that. That was the whole point of switching over, is that it wasn't direct importing, but as Phelan had pointed out in our conversation, that it's really just the tracking that needs to be imported, not the actual data. Did I get that right, Phelan?
Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah, it's
interesting.
the like your conversions and like what was
Yeah.
a goal, because now a goal is even now a conversion, so it's not even the same thing. And so it's very, yeah, like it's very poorly worded, which is kind of disappointing from
Confusing to
Google, that it's like,
people.
hey,
uh,
yeah, it's
Confusing.
confusing people, and it's
Yeah.
like it's and then your clients are going to be
Yeah.
freaking out because they're like, oh my god, I thought you imported this, you told me we wouldn't be able to, and they're
Well,
Yeah.
saying you can.
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
so
And
that's the
also,
thing.
you told me this was done. Why am I still getting these emails?
Yeah.
It's like,
Oh yeah, that's
Oh
oh
yeah,
yeah.
no.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
also, when I did try to first do it as like a test on a demo account, I tried to do the import and it just failed
Yeah.
anyway. So it
Yeah,
wasn't
it
like,
fails every time.
I was like, oh, I'm gonna like do the thing you want me to do as a test, and it didn't even work. So I was like, so you're sending me emails about stuff I don't want to do, and then when I go to do the thing you asked me to do, it doesn't even work. So like, what's the point? Like,
Yeah.
why are you doing this?
Yeah.
It was very
Well,
frustrating.
I think people should be a little bit concerned because I mean, you might move over there. Like you might, so somebody could say, "Oh yeah, we got you on there," but what does that actually mean? Because there's a couple steps in the Google Analytics for, right? There's the step one of connecting everything, right, and turning it on and turning on different elements. But then there's also the aspect of creating the conversions and event tracking in this new system. Like I think a
Yeah.
lot of business owners should be prepared for conversations about, hey, we have to update this. You might have to pay some money to get this updated because it's going to take time and hours. And everybody who uses Google Analytics 4, or 80% of us, are relatively new. Like Phelan and I, we bought our own course to make sure we're like getting all the gold out of it, right? Initially, because there's not that much information out there. I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
there's a lot of
the
surface
Google does.
information.
Well, and a lot of the stuff from Google also is not directly from them, is lacking in like how to set up the filters and how to do all this stuff. Other people have found it and how to use it. It's just out of the
Mm,
box. They don't tell you. They don't have a lot of like training or a lot of information on how to get the most out of GA4, which is, again, it's kind of disappointing that like we're having to rely on third parties in order to use a tool that Google by definition wants us to use. They benefit,
Yeah.
like if
wants
anything
us,
they should
yeah,
be having their own education and really ramping up how do people could get the most out of it,
they
because
probably
the
will.
more fine grained detail that goes into the GA4, I mean, they're going to aggregate that and that's going to feed into their AI systems. So like ultimately it benefits them to train us on how to install it because they're going to be using it. Like that's the brass tacks of it.
Yeah, there's already like interesting AI stuff going on in there too, right? Because they always had the wizard you could ask questions to. So,
Yeah, there. Well, and that was so that technically is Looker, is that's part of that. So the Looker that replaced Looker Studio is a business intelligence tool, which is supposed to take aggregated data and then like business intelligence ultimately means like, here's a large set of data, find me a weird trend in here. And then it's
mhm.
like, oh, it turns out like last week you had a lot of people coming from your email, you should do that. Or like weird little trends like that. That's what they're supposed to find for you. And that's what the Looker is supposed to do, but we don't really use it because you require like an average of 1 million points of data to make it
Well,
work.
I do like to search in there. It does tell you some interesting things, and I do think it'll help the business owner, at some point
Yeah.
because they can easily search something.
Want to know more about SEO? We've got a class for that. Our mission is to educate students about the right tools, techniques, and strategies to grow their businesses using the most up to date search engine marketing optimization techniques and tools. Find out more at knowhowmarketinglab.com.
Rena, how are you letting your clients know about Google Analytics 4 and what are you telling them?
Well, it depends on the type of client that I have, but I'm definitely getting everyone moved over to some degree. A lot of people, that I have on my hosting account, for example, they're not doing marketing, so they don't actually have any goal conversions set up already, so they're not losing anything in the switchover. The rest of my clients that are on recurring marketing, we've already set them up. We did it very quietly. I didn't really tell them very much, to be honest. I just did it. And when they get in touch with me, I let them know that it's done or whatever, that type of thing. But I haven't done any major campaigns. I'm just really I've got a lot of projects on the go at the moment, so I'm not looking to do that at the moment. But I do see that in the next couple of weeks, when some time opens up, which I'm planning on doing, I will start to really reach out one-to-one with my clients. I haven't done that for a while, so that's generally how I like to do it when there's changes.
Yeah, that's actually pretty smart.
Yeah, sorry, I was going to say one other thing about Facebook that I did want to talk about that I almost forgot. And that is, it's more of a PSA, quite frankly. It's like the scams that are going around on Facebook are pretty good. They're starting to fool me now.
What are
So
they?
I got an email from Meta, and it was a Meta looking email address, which is always the first thing I check. And it was about how my account had gone against terms of services and was scheduled to be closed out. And basically it was asking if I wanted to have a review. Then I click the button and I start filling in the form, and that's a phishing expedition. So I actually went on to chat support, and had them check my account from there. And it was a phishing email. And I was quite surprised, because usually there are little telltale signs. The logo is really poor resolution. The email address is odd. There might be a spelling typo or a grammar error in the body of the text. But this actually took me to a web page that with a form on it that looked like one of the support pages. Like it was ripped off of the design of the support pages. So it was incredibly sneaky. So I wanted to make sure that everybody is paying attention to their emails and making sure that, in fact, when there is a problem with their account, that they're going on to Facebook chat and initiating that conversation through the Facebook app, not through email, and to verify that there's a problem with their account. So that's a big thing right now.
That is great advice.
Yeah.
And that does actually remind me of one thing that Google did roll out, and now it's specific to Gmail. I don't know about the other email providers, but if you'll notice in the top left-hand corner where you see the email, you'll see a blue check mark now that they verified the email, that it's coming from the right source. And so this has come out, and you'll be able to tell that there's like a little blue check mark. And so when you see like an email from Stripe that's saying that, hey, you need to verify your details, that you know it's from stripe.com, and it hasn't been masked, it hasn't been spooked or anything like that, and that it's actually a legitimate
That's
email.
super helpful. That's super helpful. Okay.
Yeah, and I mean, it's only been like 20 years of Gmail, so like I don't know what took them so long to figure out that, hey, maybe we should do this, but like, I'm happy that it's here no matter what.
Yeah.
Sounded like you were happy. No complaints.
Yeah.
But that reminded me.
One of those...
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, it's just more that it's like, why did you guys not think to do this sooner? Was more of the thing that crossed my mind of like, it feels like this could have been more of a day one type of thing once you started getting fishing expeditions anyway.
I feel that way about their contacts option in Google. It's the only flawed, like the CRM, I don't find it useful or good. So, which like they could have a seamless, like, basically management system. Anyway, it's a story for another day. Google Ads is got this weird thing going on. And Rena, I don't know if you've noticed this, but in some of our accounts, we've gotten this thing that says add your logo, and it's in beta.
Business verification.
Yeah, and it's a business verification, and it looks like it's a process that the business owner has to do. It looks like not has to do, but if we're gonna do it, it's kind of on them. You need a license. You need like
I see.
Insurance papers. You got to prove it's your business, but then you get your logo in your ads.
And there's also a secondary feature that if someone were to click on your ad, so I've noticed this in YouTube ads that I get like some weird ones just because I'm always looking up weird stuff. And so but you can check who this business is. It's actually an option like more about this business. And then when you do that, it'll have like a little drop down and says like, oh, they've been verified and their name is this and here's their business address. So it actually does show up in the ads themselves as part of the business. And I think even in the search ads, it's in the top right hand corner where there's the three dots. I think there's an option that's like learn more about this business, and it'll take you to like an about page that tells you about the business.
Yeah, also on in search, right, on the organic stuff. You gotta keep an eye out for those three dots.
Yeah, exactly. They have lots of those hidden ones. I was going to say, going off of that with the Google ads, there's new ad types that are coming out. So lead generation is going to be its own campaign type. Yeah, so that one's going to be interesting. I don't know I haven't looked into the specifics. I'm going to guess those lead forms are going to be a big part of them.
So we're not going to have to do landing pages anymore?
Oh, you're still going to do those.
I think that it depends on what you're looking for. You know, some people are like, I'm looking to get like a consulting and I just need people to kind of give me their information so I could reach out to them about consulting or something like that. Like, I think that's where it's going to be. Whereas if you're just trying to build an email list, then a lead form wouldn't be the best option for you.
Interesting. I wonder like what is a good like on a phone, what would make somebody click on the lead form being filled out. And I wonder if Google's going to push that, you know, kind of like they do with shorts and stuff, like whatever they want people to focus on. Like if you do it, are you going to benefit? You know, I wonder about that.
I'm going to wager that probably, especially for YouTube and display ads and search, that I'm going to wager that they're probably going to start promoting the lead form as a conversion action. They're going to be promoting that more because it also probably relates to the iOS update, right? Because like the Google is still affected by it. I mean, they have a workaround with Apple, but having the lead form, it's all concentrated inside of like the YouTube app. So if it's already in there, then you don't need to really think about it. The other thing that I'm wondering is if they're going to have it in Gmail ad platform, because like they don't really have that much dynamic content in there, because Google did update as part of the emails. They can't update in real time in your Gmail. So you'll notice this if you ever open an email that's a Google Doc, it'll have a little lightning bolt in the top right-hand corner, meaning it's dynamically going to be updated, which is new. That no one's ever done that with email.
There's a lot going on, It's just like, just doesn't settle down.
Well, and the other one, because we're running low on time, I definitely want to touch on this because it was big in the ads, the Google ads, was the AI. So now with Google AI, or it's Google Ads AI and Google AI, they use both interchangeably. It was kind of annoying. But what it does is it's going to make pre-fill your headlines and your descriptions based on the landing page that you give it. And then also keywords that you were, so it's going to just like, hey, we think that based on your landing page that you should have this as your headline. They're also going to AI generate images for you based on what images that are on your website. So I don't know how good that's going to be. I'm always a little like, I don't think that's necessarily the best idea, but it's interesting that they're doing it. And I'll be interested to play with it to kind of see, is this something that I want to be using with our clients in the future?
It's funny because I was like, well, they already do that because they kind of do something like that. And I was kind of saying that to you. And then Rodney in the group shared an article and about this. And I clicked on it and it took me to a video about this. And they made it look super cool. Like I totally want to do it. And it's totally different than what is there now. So even though there's some automations, so I'm hoping it wasn't just the video and I'm being sold a bill of goods.
Yeah, well, that's the classic, like the demo video looks much better than how it actually works in the real world, where they give you like the fanciest, like most, pristine version of it rather than the messy reality of actual people using it.
Yeah, I would like to say, hey, Google, if you're listening, we would really like to be able to send our clients like a link so they could view their search ads before they go live. That'd be really nice.
That'd be great.
They do it for display ads. They don't do it for search.
Yeah, I don't get why they don't do it for all of the ad types should just have a preview link and then send it to the client, and then they could just review it and be like, approved. Like
I
that
don't
would
get why
make sense.
Facebook doesn't let you download all the ad content into a spreadsheet. So I'm confused. I thought developers created this. Don't they want, shouldn't everything be a spreadsheet? That's my new motto. Rena's no.
No, everything should be a dashboard.
But dashboards come from spreadsheets.
What? No.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. That's how you
Yeah,
build them.
I mean, Pip is technically correct in the sense that all dashboards are basically take an SQL database, which is a spreadsheet, like for all intents and purposes. It's just rows and columns.
Yes,
and
I just
all
like
that gets
rows and
converted
columns.
into a dashboard.
Yeah,
that's correct. Thank you.
Before we go, and I know we only have 2 minutes, but we'll be talking more about this as the months go on. But AI or BART and Chat GPT, very hard to say. We all know it's really hard to say. Is huge and not slowing down, and it's now being integrated into our lives. Yeah, kind of like pesticides. You don't know it's on your food, but it's, I mean, maybe so that could be bad.
Metaphor I've heard come out of you. Usually you get the metaphors really good. Well,
well, I was like, is it though? Maybe it is being integrated into things and us not having options. Like I like when it's a third party tool where you go to, you use versus
it's definitely already in our world. We've been using it for a long time, haven't we already?
Yes, we've been using but now it's more, I'd say interactive, or it's more human friendly, where you're like, write me this or write me that or something like that. You know what I mean? Versus very keyword specific or very like jolted language to get the results you want. Right. So no agreement there. You're like, no, I guess the reality is with all the AI stuff, it's good to pay attention to, but it's here and it's not going anywhere.
That's correct.
And so we got to use it to our advantage in a good way. Right. So,
I would slightly push back on that they are technically one lawsuit away from all of it going away. They have so much copywritten material that they have illegally put into their algorithm that they are actually one lawsuit away from
who
the
is
whole
one
thing
lawsuit
just
away?
going away.
Google or who is the one?
Huh?
Who is one lawsuit away? Is it Microsoft?
Anyone
is it
using
Google?
Microsoft and OpenAI, and Google has been very cagey and not answered any questions about where they got their data set from, because they've been in trouble before of just scanning people's stuff and just saying, we scanned it. And then so that, like, because of copyrights, they're not really allowed to do that. And so that's where
headed.
There's
so all of a sudden everything becomes common knowledge.
Well, it's interesting because they couldn't do books because of this, right? That's why Google stopped doing books, because they weren't allowed.
And they've been in trouble. They've been dancing on a legal gray area about scanning people's websites, whether that can be repurposed in other stuff. And so that's where it gets really cagey, and it only takes one company with very deep pockets, Disney, to go after you for any sort of copyright infringement, which there's companies that are very good at that.
Sorry.
I'm going to sue you for infant.
Yeah. Or do they own the Happy Birthday song? Is that them too?
Warner Brothers technically owns Happy Birthday.
Things to know. And we are out of time.
Dumb thing to own, actually.
Pardon me?
That's a very dumb thing to own.
They didn't purposely buy it. They just bought a company that had a bunch of songs, right? And then that just happened to be in it. They didn't purposely and that's the other reason why no one's ever there's been no lawsuit about it, because it's such an illegal gray area that just no one wants to touch it. Because
it's like Starbucks trying to get a copyright on latte. You're like, come on, man.
Anyway.
It was a word that existed beforehand. We are totally
Right.
over. Can we
We're
wrap
totally
this up
over.
now?
Yeah. So next week it is different types of Google ad verticals. So what that means is if you're interested, there's different verticals in Google Ads. So if you do work in Google Ads or you're interested in working in Google Ads, different industries do different things. And so we're going to talk about all the different industries that are industry specific in Google Ads, like hotels and auto and restaurants. And guns, and we're not going to talk about those though, and smoking and sex and all the things that show up on Google and how Google manages those with Google Ads. So that's what we're talking about next week. Going to be super fun. I think it looks like it's Phelan and myself. So we hope you join us, and we're glad you dropped by today, and pop in the comments where you're listening from if you have a moment, and we'll talk soon. Okay, bye.
The conversation never stops in our Facebook group, Cyberpunk Geeks. Join us at facebook.com/groups/cyberpunk geeks to ask your questions, meet new friends, and learn even more about search, social, and websites.